What's up, everybody? It's your boy CB back at you with another video. So recently they just made a new update and they brought back the HUD setup that they set up for a little bit and then took it away, but it's back again and there are still some issues with it, but overall it's a lot better, and a lot of the things that were wrong with it the first time have been fixed. One of the big problems before with the HUD setup for this was that there wasn't an edit mode. Luckily there is now an edit mode, and something I will want to mention first is that they haven't made it so you can put guns and builds in edit mode, so you have to switch out of edit mode every time you want to go back between guns and weapons. But everything in edit mode that you want to do in edit mode is now an option, and it wasn't an option with the setup when they released this the first time. So the buttons will all be on your screen, and the ones that aren't on your screen will be in the extra buttons down below. So you basically just want to find every button that you want or that you had in your old HUD and get them on the screen somewhere. And then if you know where they want to go and you know like what they'd want to look like, put them in that spot or whatever. And what I like to do is, since most of my buttons line up with other buttons on my screen, I go to the different modes and I find out, I go to properties on the different modes for each button, and I can see the exact size for the button, and I just copy the numbers for like the touch zone size and the button size so that they line up perfectly between modes. So like for example, my crosshair editing is the same spot my shoot button, like my fire button is. So I just make those the same size in both the numbers and stuff. And then I'm lining them up perfectly. And how you can line them up perfectly is if you go into the mode section, you'll see like the little eye thing that you can enable for each mode. So you can kind of see what each button looks like between modes. So like right now I have the building eye on, so I can see all my buttons in building mode. That way I can line them up perfectly. And it's been working really well for me doing this. When you switch between building and like weapons and editing, if you see buttons that look like they're moving around on your screen, that means they're not lined up perfectly. And it's impossible to make it like perfect, but you can get it pretty close to perfect to the point where it's not like annoying. So in this, you'll see me kind of messing around with all my buttons and stuff, making them all perfect. And you want to do the same thing in edit mode as you do in the other modes. Here you'll see the drivable cars mode is a thing. And I made it, since a lot of the buttons are similar to those in the motorboat, I like to put them in the same spot where my motorboat buttons were. But for all the modes, you're going to want to make them line up with the other modes. So like building and combat, you're going to want to make the buttons like line up if they have buttons that are on both building and combat. And do that method I said where you just look at the numbers to see the exact percentages on how big each things are. Another thing is, if there's buttons you don't want on your screen, just drag them off. And then when you save them, they'll get put back in the extra buttons down below on the thing you can slide. That way they'll get off your screen and they'll make it a lot cleaner and better. But yeah, a lot of the buttons got moved around, so you might have to adjust. Something I recommend doing is go through your camera roll, find screenshots of where you can see like your HUD, and then maybe try to copy it as best as you can if you want to make it as similar to your old HUD as possible if buttons got moved around, but it may not be an issue for some of you. If you want to see what a button does and you're not sure, if you tap on the button and then go on properties, you'll see what it's called. You can pretty much understand what it does. Some of the edit buttons, I wasn't sure if I was on the right button, like the resetting and some of that stuff, but you can get a pretty clear picture for what each one does by tapping on properties. And yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments down below. I'll try to answer as many as I can, because I know some of this is confusing for a lot of you. But overall, most of the things that are issues right now can easily be fixed. Hopefully this video helped you with any questions you have, and if it did, please drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.